love. Sometimes people think it's love and it is lust. Lust is something that you try to get when you try to satisfy your own needs. Love is when you tend to want to reach out and satisfy another. Love is important in our lives, and simply because we are creatures of love. Because we were made in God's image and in his likeness, and because of that we find that we want to love because God is love. The Bible declares unto us, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. And his Son so loved us that he was willing to give his life. What greater love? There is no greater love than this, that man will lay down his life for his friend. And then for lay down his life for us, and sometimes Jesus have laid down his life for us and we don't even know him. But yet he loves us. He loves us not because of, but God loves us in spite of. Now because of his love, the Bible declares unto us that God gave unto Moses first commandments that would regulate the love that man would have with him. The Bible declares that he gave some 613 commandments. Many times we mention and we remember the 10 commandments. But in the 10 commandments we find that that is not the only commandments that God has given. But we find that after Moses had given or was given the 613 commandments, David reduced those commandments down to the point that he made a statement in just 11, which had the same meaning. Then we come in Isaiah, reduced them down to 6, but still having the same meaning. Michael reduced it down in just a few number of commandments by reducing it to 3. Amos said 2 can sum it up. Habakkuk said 1 can sum it up. This will we find in the Old Testament, and here we find in the New Testament that Jesus is on the scene. And as he come on the scene, he began to share with the people about the commandments of God and how that the commandments of God affects our relationship with God and with our fellow man. But here in the text we find that there is a lawyer. A lawyer is a smart individual that has studied the law and familiar with, no doubt, all 613 commandments that God had given unto Moses. But now it comes to the point that he's trying to challenge Jesus and asking Jesus the question, Jesus, which of the commandments are most important? Which is the greatest? Now, all of them have been given and God must have had meaning for all of the commandments, but which is the greatest? Expecting an answer from Jesus, and Jesus, knowing all things, began to respond to him and began to say unto him, which is found in the 37th verse, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and the great commandment. Now here, as we look at this particular verse, we find that Jesus saying, with all thy heart, with all thy heart. Now there are some individuals that have fallen in love. And they told that young man or that young lady, I love you with all my heart. Y'all need to help me to preach. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, I love you with all my heart. That means that I have no room for loving nobody else. But I love you with all my heart. But after a while, we found that love that we had with all our heart dissipated somewhere. And we found out that we found somebody else and we had another lover. Y'all stay with me. So then we find that it wasn't all your heart that you loved him with. And then we come to somebody say, I love him with all of my soul. Some people love people so until they'll do anything for them. Sell the soul out. Everything that you have. Because they love. And then with all your mind, with all of your mind, that means every thought that you have, you are thinking of them. And as you go through the day and as you go from place to place, you are thinking about them. I have you on my mind. I just can't get you off my mind. Because I love you. I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about what you're doing. I'm thinking about how you look. I'm thinking about how you affect me. I'm thinking about how you touch me. I'm thinking about it. So, but then I came to the point of asking God a question. I had a talk with God last night. I had a talk with God last night, and yes, I asked him a question. I asked him a question because I wanted to know. And he is the best person to ask a question about him. Because nobody knows him like he knows himself. I said, Lord, now, how is it that we can love you with all of our heart, with all of our soul, and with all of our mind, and with all, oh my Lord, of all our strength? And the Lord answered me back. As I began to think about it, and then he told me, he said, you got to understand that I'm not a person that you see. But you got to understand that it is by faith. It is by faith. And he challenged me, First Lady, he challenged me to the point to think. And he told me, as I began to give this message, he said, I want you to tell the people, tell Faith Temple, I want you to understand what I'm talking about when I say I want you to love me with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. The Lord said, think about the person that is dearest to you. The person that you love the most. Think about that person. It may be your husband. It may be your wife. It may be your children. It may be that boy, that girl that you love so much, that son, that daughter. Y'all know what I'm talking about? That you'll do anything for. Scrub floors for. Pick up after him. That grandchild. Am I in my house? I want you to think about it. That grandchild that you love. So if something happened to them, what would you do? That person that you love so much that you would do anything for. That man that you love, ladies, you know. That man that would tell you to do anything. It almost tell you to chop off your head. You find yourself almost chopping off your head for it. He tell you to do something wrong. You find yourself doing something. I'm talking when you love. I'm talking when you love. When you love. You know, when some people in love, they'll do anything. That man that's in love, that when he's in love with that woman, brother, when he's in love, look like she have his nose open, she have his mind. He can't think right. Give her his paycheck. Give it all to her. She meet him on the job and she hand it over. He hand it over. Hand it over. You know, he just wrapped up to the point that we say he's crazy. He lost his mind because he's in. I want you to stay with me. I want you to stay with me. That woman that would do anything for that man. That woman that's so much in love with him until she would leave her children in order to satisfy him. That woman that will stay up all night long, that will sacrifice whatever sacrifice she has to make in order to please him. That grandmother that love that child. Y'all still with me? That love that child, that grandchild. Tell me, if something happened to him, I don't know what I'll do. There has been individuals that mothers has passed and fathers have passed and they declare, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't live without them. They feel like they want to get over in the casket and get in the grave with them because I can't make it without them. Y'all stay with me? Because I love them